I woke up to the most beautiful snowfall I have ever seen.
Range Wilson.
There I was, in a strip club, with a beautiful half-naked woman on my lap, feeling very confused. During my evening with Tracy, which had included both an intimate makeout session and a ballroom dance, I had already established that she was not a typical stripper. As for myself, I was definitely not a typical strip club patron. Did that mean we had a chance at a fulfilling relationship? I was not so sure about that idea. Tracy had been handpicked for our table, which was full of young men who liked to show off their wealth. Even though she had not been trying to sell me dances, she could be focusing on the more lucrative position of girlfriend. Other exotic dancers had used that strategy successfully on many of the guys in Irie Guy's circle, including Irie Guy himself. Those guys all thought I was crazy for worrying about Tracy's motives. To them, relationships always involved trading money for sex. Dating a stripper simply brought that trade-off to the surface. Then you could move forward from there to find out if you were long-term compatible. In the meantime, you got to spend quality time with a beautiful, sexy woman. What was the downside? But I remained unconvinced. Neither money nor sex were all that important to me, and my most fulfilling romantic relationships had not involved that sort of trade-off. I felt like I had to find some sort of more meaningful connection to Tracy if I was going to pursue a long-term relationship with her. The question in my mind was how to find that type of connection, given how we had met. All of those thoughts were running through my head as Tracy remained perched on my lap. I decided it was time to cool things down. I reminded her that she had come there to make money, and since I had already done my part, it was time for her to move on to other patrons. She reluctantly slid out of my lap, but instead of approaching other men, she simply wandered around the room, looking lost and forlorn. Seeing her that way made me a little sad, but my cynical side wondered if it was all part of her game. In any case, it was time for me to call it a night. I said goodbye to Irie Guy's crew and headed back to the townhouse by myself. I felt like I needed to mull over the situation with Tracy before making any decisions. In the meantime, maybe I would get some kind of sign. The next day, I woke up to the most beautiful snowfall I have ever seen. There was absolutely no wind, and the snowflakes were enormous. They slowly drifted down from the sky, covering everything in a fluffy layer of powder. And it went on for hours. Las Vegas ended up getting 2 inches of snow, which was unheard of. If I had needed a sign, I had gotten one. Tracy texted me during the snowstorm, and after we caught up, I told her I would call her later. In the meantime, I posted on 2plus2 to get recommendations for a nice romantic restaurant that would not break my budget. Alan, my buddy who had won $280,000 in a World Series of Poker event, recommended a place just down the road from me. All I had to do was call Tracy and make a date. But I never made the call. Given how we had met, I felt like I could never really trust Tracy's motives. Maybe that reasoning makes sense, or maybe it was just an excuse to avoid any sort of entanglement. In any case, life would soon provide me with a distraction from my relationship woes. Tune in next time to find out what happened when 2 of my young lady friends ended up competing in an amateur topless oil wrestling contest. Until then, regular viewers, please like, comment, and/or share. New viewers, please click the icon to subscribe, the playlist to catch up on my life videos, or watch a video that YouTube has picked for you personally. My name is Range Wilson, and I'll see you next time.